Welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living. I'll be reading the thought for the week, and you can join me as we get down at the bottom. Christmas is around the corner, as they say. This magical time of year is the best time of year. Time to mindfully connect with receiving all the spiritual gifts God continually showers upon us, giving us the gift of His Son, who came to tell us God is within each and every one of us. There's an old song that says, "Love was born at Christmas. Love all lovely, love divine. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angel gave the sign." There are signs given to us everywhere if we only have eyes to see and ears to hear. It takes opening our inner self to commune and receive. It takes letting go of the past and living in the eternal now with all its wonder. The love of God is in our hearts is the greatest gift we have been given. Let us accept this gift with gratitude and re-gift it back to all in our presence. Just as God makes no requirements but casts His love on all equally, so too we can mirror this action and fulfill Jesus' commandment to love our neighbor as ourselves. Prepare yourself in the coming days to be the gift of love by going into the silence and prayerfully being available for God to soften your heart with loving kindness. When you open your eyes, see the glory and splendor that is all around you. Speak words with care and gentleness. Be love in action and feel the glow of Christmas envelop your being. Say with me, I accept the gift of love at a deeper, fuller level in my heart this Christmas, and joyfully let it flow through all my thoughts, words, and actions. I am grateful for the gift of love that keeps on giving, and it is so. So we have arrived at this festive day that we celebrate the birth of the Christ within our own heart of hearts. I realize Christmas is next Sunday, but we here in our church are celebrating Christmas today with our festivities and gift exchange and party and all of that. But beyond that, and what is the basis of this celebration, is the gift that God gave us, the humankind, in the form of a baby, in the form of love that was sent to everyone. That Christmas story, we all are familiar with it, and we talked about it earlier in this month, that Mary and Joseph had no clue that they would be chosen by this beautiful higher power to fulfill this message that God was bringing to us. Mary was quite surprised that she, of all people, would be the one to bear this child and did not understand how it would be possible, but said yes, agreed, didn't fight it. And so many of us, when we come into our lives day in and day out, there are things that will happen to us and we'll say, what? How can this be? And that is for us opportunity to place ourselves in that same arena that Mary was, where we have an open and trusting heart and we have the faith that brings us through when we can't see. Faith gives us what we have need of at that moment. We remember that they went into town. Everybody was moving around. There was lots of activity, and they wanted to have a place to stay, with a bed and so forth, and they were told there was no room in the inn. And so they did find a place that was a sheltered place out of the cold, but it was in a stable with the animals, with the lowly and the meek. And what a message God gives. God loves us unconditionally, no matter where we are, no matter what our station in life is. And in particular, as we are questioning, as we are wondering, that is when this gift of love swoops in and gives us exactly what we have need of, whether we realize it or not. That birth of that Christ child being born in the stable symbolizes that there is no rank, there is no pre-qualification for having this love of God be birthed in our own hearts as it is each and every Christmas. That we are accepted by God exactly as we are. We don't have to change a thing. We have to remain open. We have to believe that there is something that is for us, for our good, that perhaps we can't see. This Christmas, as in every Christmas, comes with gifts. We've been talking about the gifts of the season, which is faith and joy and love. Those are the true gifts of the season. When we are willing and open and available, not with a pre-agenda, but with something that God, Spirit, love, energy can work with. We must be willing. Like Joseph and Mary, we want to trust. The Science of Mind reading said, when you declare that you are willing to love and accept yourself, or you are willing to embrace perfect health and wholeness into your body, you have set the law in motion without any resistance from the subconscious. I am willing to change. I am willing to trust. I am willing to love. I am willing to be whole, vibrant, and healthy. I am willing. And that's all it takes, is an open, willing heart, an open, willing demeanor to let and allow this infinite love to flow through us. There is no better gift that we can experience this Christmas than opening our hearts, opening our being to the love of God, and let it flow through us with joy, with wonder, with expectation. We talked about joy last week, but that is one of the gifts of the season. The angels, as they herald the coming of the birth of the Christ child, said, glad tidings of great joy we bring. How many of you feel like joy today? Yes? Kind of? I'm going to give you a little example here. I want you to look at your neighbor, and I want you to say the word joy. 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 Can you do that with a sour look on your face? I don't think so. I think when you say joy, your lips turn up naturally. Joy, yes. You can do that.
Even if you try to do it with a frowny face, you laugh.
Remember that these are the gifts of the season, that joy fills our hearts, that we are here to give and re-gift, as I said in the thought for the week, to re-gift this love. This love is internally within us, eternally, full, without any sort of limitation. And all we need to do is let it out. Give it. That's what it's about, is allowing this love to flow through us and to feel the joy and to feel the love. I think I've shared this with you many years ago when we lived in Yakima, Washington. We were attending a Unity church there, and the minister had brought up a point that giving us an assignment for the week. And the assignment was to go through the week and tell yourself, not once, not twice, but over and over throughout the day, God loves me. 3 simple words. God loves me. And so I took this task to heart and I did it. And it was an amazing transformation that came over me. I would play with it, God, emphasizing the first word, loves me. God loves me. And then the third word, God loves me. I can so remember, like walking down the street and feeling that energy of knowing that there is within me, not at some distant place, nothing that I have to do to earn it, but there is right now within me a love that loves me so deeply for no other reason than just because it's me. I'd like all of us to have that experience this Christmas, to recognize that that's what we have been given again and again. Every time we celebrate Christmas, it's rebirthing this love that God has for us. And this love that God has for us wants to be multiplied. It wants to be shared. It wants to give. It wants to be able to say, yes, look into the eyes of this person. Look into the eyes of this person and feel that love that is there. Express it from your own divine self. It gives you a sense when you recognize that God loves me within me, that I have something greater in me than I can ever imagine what it is. It brings with it that nuance of faith that Mary and Joseph had, that nuance of not knowing how this beautiful love is going to support me this day. How is this love going to play itself through me this day? And I know that each and every one of us has that little voice. It's called the voice of intuition. It's called your conscious. It's whatever you want to call it. That gives you instructions day in and day out to listen to it and then follow them. Follow those instructions that come from that still small voice, from that God that loves you. And it may be something that you feel unsure about. How is that going to work? We don't need to know the end result. We need to take the first step in faith and let love lead us. Let love guide us. I read a daily message from the universe. I don't know how many of you get messages from the universe, but I do. Yes. And one of them this week was, when you understand, Gay, that your disappointments in another's behavior or choices always stems from their immaturity or yours, rather than their unkindness or yours, it becomes much harder not to keep skipping through life, giddy with joy, smelling the flowers. Moreover, when you understand that with enough maturity on your end, you can always find peace in all your relationships, it becomes much harder not to run down the street kissing everyone you meet on both cheeks. Kiss, kiss, the universe. To have that lightheartedness, to have that recognition that if there is an immaturity about me, if there's an immaturity about someone else, let it be. We don't have to evaluate it. We don't have to, have everybody on the same exact level. We are all maturing, quote unquote, at our perfect rate, in our perfect time. And know that and accept that. How many of us are sitting in this room smiling once or twice as Adeline is over here doing her antics, right? And we know she's not as, quote, mature as we are, but what do we see in that face, in those antics? We see that spontaneity of divine joy, of being who she is, without any sort of apology, without any sort of needing to change who and what she is. Wouldn't that be lovely if all of us could just go through life accepting ourselves and accepting others in that same way, in that same vein? So I ask you this week to re-gift, give back, give out this gift of love that God has given us time and time again without any sort of qualification, and let it be something that you do consistently. How many of you, and I know we've talked about this too, you'll call somebody that you don't know, somebody that you hope will help you in a customer service situation. Many of us have been what's the word? Stymied. Sometimes we get upset, we get frustrated, we get confused when we're trying to get through to someone who can, quote, help us.
Or you leave messages and nobody.
You leave a message and nobody calls you back. Yeah, or hang up on you. Yes. What a lesson, though, isn't that? What a lesson. And it's happened to me. It's happened to all of us. You finally get through, and then the line goes dead. Stop and breathe. Stop and breathe. And know that this, too, is God in expression. And when you get through to that person, how many of us, I know there's a few of us in here that do this, try to connect with that person, not just on a detail of what I need from you, but where are you located in the world? What's the weather like there? And it's amazing how the demeanor changes in that person's consciousness, because they connect, they realize, oh, this is a person just like me. And I can share with them what's going on, and there's a softening that happens. You feel it, it's palatable. I ask you this coming week to allow yourself to feel that palatable type of love, encouragement for whomever you are in contact with. For we are all on this earth plane, living this life just as we are to be doing it. There is something within us spurring us on as we listen to it, as we follow it, and as we open our eyes and our ears to the awareness of this infinite love around us. We sink into the beautiful essence and energy of it. This is the day the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. Kiss, kiss. Love, love. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Namaste.